Hello, my name is Oscar, and I'm going to talk to you about 8th and 16th notes today. Let's get into it. So, notes with smaller duration have flags, and each flag has the value of a note. That means that every time you add a little flag, it gets faster. The eighth note, for example, which is the note that we see on the screen right now, has one flag and has half the duration of one quarter note. One quarter note is one beat, so the eighth note is half a beat. This means that for every one beat, we're going to have two eighth notes because half a beat plus half a beat makes up one beat, correct? When we have two eighth notes or more, we connect them with a bar at the top as you see on the screen. On the left, we have two eighth notes without being connected, and on the right, we have two eighth notes haven't been connected. It's the same thing either way. However, connecting eighth notes with a bar makes it easier to read when you have a sequence of them. So if you have, let's say, four of these, it'll be easier to read four notes that are connected rather than having to read four individual notes and having to count them that way. It's a little bit easier on the eye. When counting eighth notes, it is useful to say and. So let me tell you what I mean by that. For example, here's a two-beat pattern, and we talked about beat in a previous lesson. So if you need to learn about that, click on the link in the description. So let's do our two-beat pattern. 1, 2, 1, 2. So now that I have my two-beat pattern, and I could actually play it also on my little wood block. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we add two eighth notes to each beat now, right? Because two eighth notes equal one beat, and we have four eighth notes total since we have two beats. So now I'm going to play 1, 2, 1, 2. For every one, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So to make it easier, when we count 1 and 2 and, we're actually including the eighth note in each beat. So instead of counting 1, 2, I'm going to say 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. You see how by saying and, you're actually listening to the second note of the second half of each beat? Otherwise, it's 1, 2, 1, 2. This is good if you're already used to doing this kind of work. But if you're just starting out, saying 1 and 2 and in the same time that you're saying that you're hearing the beat. So for example, I say 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. The beat was still 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Did you hear how now I'm playing two notes for every beat? Again, I'm going to do the same thing, but now with the piano. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2. Sorry. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, so that's basically what I'm trying to do. Now here's an example with a 3-beat pattern. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's a 3-beat pattern. And now we add two half notes to each beat because two half notes is equal to one beat, and we have 3 beats. So that means we're going to have 6 eighth notes total. All right. Now to count it, we're going to add and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, so that's how you count the eighth notes. Simple enough, right? So let's talk about the 16th note next. The 16th note has two flags and is half the duration of an eighth note, one quarter of a beat. Yeah, so it's much faster. It's twice as fast as the eighth note. So for each eighth note, you're going to have two 16th note, which means that for each beat or each quarter note, you're going to have four of these little guys, these 16th notes. All right. Now, like the eighth note, similar to them, when we have two 16th notes or more, we connect them with bars on top. But since they have two flags, we also have to have two bars at the top. Earlier, when we connected the eighth notes, they only had one bar that connected them. That's because the eighth note has only one flag. Since now the 16th note have two little flags, we need two bars for connecting the 16th notes. All right. It also makes it easier to read, especially these, because usually they group them by four. If you have four of them in one beat, you're going to read 4, 4, 4. You usually don't have a lot of them unless you're in a triple meter, but we'll talk about that in a different lesson. So here are 4 16th notes per one beat. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1. All right. So did you hear it? And it's kind of hard to say to hear if you're not used to listening to them. Also, if there's no beat. But 2 16th notes are going to equal the duration of an eighth note because 16th plus 16th is 18. So imagine if I play. You have 2 16th notes and one eighth note in this case. And so that means that for each quarter note, we're going to have 4 16th notes. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay, so let me show you now. When counting 16th notes, it's useful to say END. That's how I learned it. And I think it's very useful because you want to account for every note when you are counting. This way, you feel how it's supposed to sound, right? So in this case, I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So now I'm going to add END. We add 4 16th notes to each beat because 4 16th notes equal one beat. We have 8 16th notes total for 2 beats. So if I'm going to count it, when I count 1 END, 2 END, we're actually including all 4 16th notes in each beat while we count. Let me show you the counting first. 1 END, 2 END, 1 END, 2 END, 1 END, 2 END. Let's do it with the beat. 1 END, 2 END, 1 END, 2 END, 1 END, 2 END. Now let's do it with the piano first. 1, 2, 1. 1 END, 2 END, 1 END, 2 END, 1 END, 2 END. Let's do it now with a beat. Let me get the wood block over here. 1, 1. 1 END, 2 END, 1 END, 2 END, 1 END, 2 END, 1 END, 2 END. Now, of course, it's easier if you play different notes. 1 END, 2 END, 1 END, 2 END. Okay, just as a little example. Now here's an example of a 3-beat pattern. Same thing. You're always going to have da 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 dee da da da. Okay, so 3-beat pattern goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we add the 16th notes to each beat because 4 16th notes equal one beat. So we have 12 16th notes total, and we add our counting. 1 END, 2 END, 3 END, 1 END, 2 END, 3 END, 1 END, 2 END, 3 END, 1 END, 2 END, 3 END. Let's try that with the piano. 1 END, 2 END, 3 END, 1 END, 2 END, 3 END, 1 END, 2 END, 3 END. Okay? With the block. 1 END, 2 END, 3 END, 1 END, 2 END, 3 END, 1 END, 2 END, 3 END. So those are the 16th notes. And here's another way to look at it, just in case you are a little confused about what I mean by they double in speed, or each one keeps getting halved in duration. So you have first the quarter note at the top, which is one beat. And if you split that beat, you're going to get two eighth notes with one flag. And if you split each eighth note, you're going to get two 16th notes. So since two eighth notes make up a quarter note, you're going to have four 16th notes. That's it for today. I hope this is cleared out. If you have any questions, please write in the comments. If something is not clear, please tell me about it so I can remake this video and make it more comprehensive if that wasn't helpful. Anyway, that's it for now. Study hard. Have a great rest of your day.